Alright, so I'm at Gavin's place, and this is the site, as you know, if you've been following along, of our fall overseed kind of renovation. Gavin and his wife, my sister-in-law, purchased this house a few months ago, and we've been doing a little bit here and there to kind of renovate, but the big amount of work is going to happen now that temperatures have come down. We've had quite the overnight drop in temperatures from 100 degrees of highs down to mid to low 80s literally overnight. So if you're planning on doing a lawn renovation or things like that, you're planning on putting seed down, you've got to stay on top of your temperature data. You've got to anticipate overnight swings like that and be ready to go pretty much at a moment's notice, especially if you live here in Utah. But today I want to show you what we're going to do, give you an update on where we're at, and talk about some of the first steps I'm going to be taking to get them ready for their overseed and a little bit of renovation work that we're going to be doing here. Here we go. Right, so if you remember last time I was out here, it was to spray the weeds, and that did some pretty good damage. There are still some weeds left over that we're going to take care of over time. I'm not going to really worry about them going forward, because my biggest priority now is to get this ready for seed, and that's what I'm going to do today. But as for everything else, Gavin's been doing a little bit here and there with some glyphosate, taking some stuff out. This was actually crabgrass here, and you don't need glyphosate to take out crabgrass as a post-emergent herbicide control. You can get quinclorac, and he was just going after some clumping fescue patches and things like that, and just took all that out as well. Took this out too, and there's a couple of other spots throughout the yard that he's hit with that. So no big deal. We're going to be seeding anyway, and we'll move forward from there. But as for today, what I'm going to be doing, I've brought the Ryobi 1 Plus dethatcher, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to town on the yard here with the dethatcher and get as much of the material out as I possibly can and kind of clear the way so that we have some soil exposed. I'm also planning on aerating as well, and that's also going to help expose some soil, open up the soil. Who knows the last time this lawn was ever aerated, let alone dethatched. It might not ever have been dethatched before. I couldn't tell you if this was ever aerated before, and it might not ever have been aerated before, but now's a great time to start that practice. So gonna do that, and probably save the aeration for another video, but for today we're dethatching, and then at the end of the video I'll kind of lay out what the plan is going forward. So with that, let's get busy. First pass over is done, and pretty good amount of material, not as much as I thought. I would have guessed wrong. But still, we're making a dent here. The grass was a little tall, and I'm gonna cut it down as I vacuum up this material. So we're gonna be not only removing this material out, but we're gonna be taking the height of cut down a little bit. And that's in preparation also for the overseed, because if you think about it, you've got existing grass that's still growing, and that's gonna be under fertilizer with the starter fertilizer. And then you have the new grass that you're trying to germinate. So while that new grass is trying to germinate and it's getting water and it's getting fertilizer, so is that existing grass. So we wanna make sure it's short to give it time to grow, so it's not crazy out of control by the time we're ready to mow for the first time. So if we start taking it down now, we'll be in good shape when it's time to get the seed down, which should hopefully be later this week. right, that's the end of round 1, and it's all cleaned up and quite a bit of material. Now granted, we were mowing at the same time, but pretty much filled up a garbage bin full of material. So gonna go over it again in the opposite direction. So I went this way that time, now I'm gonna go this way, and we'll see what else we can pull out. As I said before, the whole goal here is just to expose the soil and start exposing the soil in preparation for the seed to go down. If the seed doesn't have any soil to make contact with, it's not going to germinate and grow, at least as efficiently as it would if it did have proper seed to soil contact. So, gonna take another pass at this, see what we get. So there we go, that's all cleaned up and ready for the next step, which is aeration, and I'm looking forward to that. That should be good. That's gonna get us pretty much ready to seed, minus the fact that we're gonna bring in a little bit of topsoil to fill in this dip. It's like a little dip or a bowl right here, and then there's a couple of spots that we could really just smooth out, and they're gonna get some topsoil out here in the next couple days. We're gonna get that down and get it ready to go, and we'll get the seed down. We're gonna use the same seed that was used at my house, the Nature Seed Blue Ribbon Mix, and it's just gonna make it look even better than it already does. We're off to such a good start here. Look at these stripes, oh my gosh. Man, we can just call it good here, can't we? But the seed that we're putting down, that Nature Seed, is just gonna give it all the more definition and color and really just brighten this up and really make it pop really well. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Stay tuned for all the rest of the work here at this project. Plenty more to come here, plenty more to come with other things. Until next time, I'll see ya.